The heavy thudding against the door grows more violent, the wood splintering as the latch begins to give way. You release Anne's hand and gesture urgently toward the large, dust-covered wine tuns in the corner.
If they come through that door, I'll surprise them and hide behind those barrels.
Anne nods frantically, her platinum pigtails whipping as she ducks behind the rotting wood. She curls into a small ball, disappearing into the deep shadows of the cellar.
That's the spirit. I'll distract them from the rafters. Use the momentum when they overextend.
You press your back against the cold stone wall beside the door, your breath held tight. The door bursts inward with a final, echoing crash. The guard lumbers into the room, the red glow of its visor scanning the darkness. As it passes your position, you lunge forward. You use your weight to shove the heavy door back against the guard's trailing leg, tripping the massive suit of armor.
Intruder, unauthorized presence in the king's cellar.
The guard flails, its halberd clattering against the stone. You don't give it a chance to recover, driving your shoulder into its side to keep it pinned against the wine racks. The guard is off balance, but its metallic strength is immense. It begins to push back, the red light in its visor pulsing with murderous intent. Anne watches from behind the barrels, her eyes wide with a mix of terror and awe as she sees you fighting back against the nightmare. The guard's metallic weight is immense, a cold pressure that threatens to crush you against the stone wall. As it struggles to right itself, your eyes lock onto the long-handled halberd that slid across the floor. You dive, your fingers closing around the cold, iron-bound wood of the haft just as the shadow surges upward. With a grunt of exertion, you wedge the thick pole across the guard's chest, pinning its armored forearms against its own torso. You use the wall as a fulcrum, leaning your entire body weight into the lever. The metal screeches, a sound like a dying engine, as the guard's red visor flares with frantic light.
Impertinent vermin! You dare defy the king's law?
I'm tired of people like you telling me what the law is.
Keep him pinned. He can't reach his sidearm if you keep the pressure on his joints.
Anne watches from the shadows of the wine barrels, her breath hitching. Seeing you struggle, seeing the physical reality of your rebellion, something shifts in her gaze. The paralyzing terror is being replaced by a sharp, jagged edge of indignation.
You're actually holding it back. You're really fighting it.
The guard let out a burst of static-filled rage, its boots scraping the floor as it tries to find purchase. The halberd groans under the tension. You can feel the vibration of the shadow's malice, traveling through the wood and into your bones. The guard is trapped for now, but your muscles are burning with the effort of holding the lever. Behind the guard, the heavy cellar door is still slightly ajar, and the sounds of more clanking armor echo from the corridor. You need to finish this, or find a way to secure the room before reinforcements arrive. The guard's metal plating grinds against the halberd's haft as it slowly forces its way upward, its glowing red eyes burning with digital fury. Your boots slide an inch on the damp stone, the sheer strength of the shadow nearly overpowering your grip.
Anne, grab that heavy chain by the wall. We can lock him to the pillar.
Anne's eyes dart to the rusted iron shackles hanging from a nearby stone column. For a heartbeat, she hesitates, her face pale in the gloom. Then, her jaw sets with a sudden, fierce determination. She scrambles out from behind the barrels, her combat boots thudding against the floor as she lunges for the heavy iron.
I've got it! Hold him just 1 second longer!
That's it, Lady Anne. Use the weight of the lynx.
Anne swings the heavy chain with a desperate strength, looping the rusted metal around the guard's neck and the stone pillar in one fluid, frantic motion. You see your opening and shove the halberd forward with a final, explosive burst of energy, driving the guards back into the column. Anne pulls the slack tight, securing the shackles with a heavy iron pin just as the guard's gauntlets reach for her throat.
Insolent slaves, the king will execute.
The guard's voice cuts into a spray of static as the iron collar chokes its vocal processor. It thrashes against the pillar, but it's pinned fast. The shadow suddenly dissolves into a thick, black sludge, the armor clattering to the floor before evaporating into dark mist. The room falls into a heavy, ringing silence, save for your ragged breathing. Anne stands by the pillar, her chest heaving, staring at the spot where the monster just existed. The immediate threat is gone, but the sounds of searching guards echo from the halls above. Anne looks down at her trembling hands, then up at you. A faint, shaky smile touches her lips, the first sign of real life you've seen in her eyes since the car pulled up to the school. The adrenaline that fueled the struggle begins to ebb, leaving your muscles heavy and your heart racing. You look at Anne, standing amidst the fading black mist of the shadow, her frame still vibrating with the aftershocks of the encounter. Without a word, you step across the cold stone floor and pull her into a steadying embrace. For a heartbeat, she is rigid, her breath hitching in her throat as she remains suspended in shock. Then the tension breaks. She collapses against you, her forehead resting against your shoulder as she buries her face in the maroon fabric of your robes. Her hands clutch at your back, gripping the ornate vest as if you are the only anchor in a world that has lost its gravity.
I thought we were dead. I've been so alone in this, Wyndra. Everyone looks away. Everyone pretends he isn't hurting us. But you didn't.
I'm not looking away. I've got you.
Hey, look at that. You've got a backbone after all, Lady Anne. But don't get too comfortable. The palace is reacting to the disturbance.
Can't you feel the walls pulsing?
As Morgana speaks, the stone walls of the cellar throb with a dull, fleshy rhythm. The light from the candelabras turns a deeper, more aggressive red. Anne pulls back slightly, her eyes searching yours. Her cheeks are flushed, and her blue eyes are bright with a mixture of lingering fear and a new, burgeoning trust.
Thank you for everything. I don't know what this place is, but I don't want to hide anymore. If there's a way to stop Kamoshida, I want to help.
She lingers in the space between you, her hands still resting on your chest. The sound of heavy, rhythmic marching begins to echo from the corridor above, growing louder by the second. The king knows there are rebels in his dungeon. Anne blinks, the tension in her face breaking as she lets out a startled, breathless laugh. She looks at her hands, still smudged with the rust and grime of the dungeon chains, and then back at you, a genuine smile finally reaching her eyes.
Wait, you helped chain up a monster and then thanked me? You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
I guess I did, didn't I? I didn't even think about it. I just saw you in trouble and my body moved on its own.
That's exactly how it starts. Rebellion isn't just a feeling, it's an action. You've got the spark, Lady Anne.
Now we just need to make sure Kamoshida doesn't blow it out.
The moment of levity is cut short by a thunderous boom from the floor above. Dust and small pebbles shake loose from the ceiling, raining down onto the wine barrels. The rhythmic pulsing of the walls intensifies, the stone veins turning a deep, angry violet.
The palace is onto us. That guard was just a scout. They're sealing the lower levels. If we don't move now, we'll be buried in this cellar.
Where do we go? The way we came in is crawling with those things.
The ventilation grate. It leads to the kitchen pantry. From there, we can reach the central hall and find a way up to the tower.
You look up at the iron grate. It's high up, requiring a boost to reach, and the sounds of iron boots are getting closer to the door you just barricaded. The air in the room is getting thinner, smelling increasingly of ozone and Kamoshida's suffocating ego. The thundering footsteps in the corridor are nearly upon the door. You move with practiced efficiency, crossing the cellar to the stone wall beneath the ventilation grate. You lace your fingers together, creating a sturdy stirrup with your hands.
Step up. I've got you.
Right.
Anne places her combat boot into your palms. With a sharp grunt of effort, you hoist her upward. She catches the edge of the iron grate, her fingers straining as she heaves herself into the narrow, dusty shaft.
Quickly, Wyndra. They're at the door.
The cellar door shatters inward just as you leap, catching Anne's outstretched hand. She pulls with surprising strength, helping you scramble into the cramped, metallic tunnel, just as a halberd whistles through the air where your legs had been a second before. You kick the grate back into place, the shadow's distorted roars fading behind you. The vent opens into a room that defies logic. The food here is grotesque, giant, pulsating cuts of meat that look disturbingly like human limbs, served on ornate gold. Anne stumbles out of the vent, her face turning pale as she takes in the sight.
This is what he thinks of us? We're just meat to him?
Exactly. This is the cafeteria of his castle. To a king like Kamoshida, students are just fuel for his ego.
In the center of the room, a smaller, less armored shadow, looking like a cowering student in tattered rags,